This ain't just a channel, this is BBTV.
Welcome to What the Fork Wednesday, the stories that make you stop, blink twice, and ask yourself how this is real life. Logic has left the building. Let's begin.
Boss be rising, BBTV's igniting, turn the volume up, yeah, the whole world's invited. From the gravel road to the neon dream, she built an empire out of broken wings. Boss be rising, sky ain't even the ceiling when she hits go live, everybody feels it.
All right, y'all, welcome. It's What the Fork Wednesday. Settle in because today we're not playing it safe. And hi, Des, I see you the first one in there. So we're not playing it safe. It is What the Fork energy, and we've got everything from lab panic to sibling cruelty to wedding night chaos. This is Ask a Bee, and if you're new here, this is where we take real stories from real people and we don't baby them. We don't sugarcoat them, and we definitely don't pretend grown adults don't know what they're doing. So sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes you're right. Sometimes you're technically right, but emotionally messy. And sometimes you're just embarrassed and spiraling over something that was actually fine. Today's story hits all of that. I know, I'm ready, right? We've got grief being weaponized, family dynamics getting weird, somebody panicking over industrial gas tanks, and yes, some classic fork around and find out moments. So if you're watching live, get in the chat because I want your verdicts, okay? Honey or stinger. You know how I roll. And if you don't, honey is for the good, stinger is for the bad. Come on, because honey lasts forever. For real. So if you're on replay, drop your takes in the comments because half of the fun is seeing where y'all land with these things. And remember, we judge behavior here, not people. We call out actions, not identities. That's the difference. So buckle up because some of these are going to make you mad. Some of these, are going to make you laugh. And at least one of them is going to make you sit back and go, oh, that one hit. So let's get into it. I'm going to load up my first story here because we've got 4 of them today, y'all. 4 stories because, I don't know, they're just fun. Hello, Charlotta Cooper Wood. What a beautiful long name that is. I love it. I love your name. Okay, here we go. Let me get my panel up here for you and get me to the side here. Now, this one's actually an Am I the Jerk? So, yay, hi Des. Ethan Williams, thank you. I'm glad you can agree with me on that one too. It's a great name though. That's a very good name. And I am very happy that I didn't butcher it because I usually butcher names, all kinds. So, all right. Am I the jerk for telling my brother that his girlfriend is not welcome in my home after what she did to my cat? All right. Leave the kitties alone, guys. Some context. I, 27 female, live alone and have 2 cats, Miso and Fig, who I've had for 5 and 3 years respectively. They're friendly with people that they know, but skittish around strangers, which is completely normal. My brother, 24 male, has been dating someone, I'll call her Ray, for about 7 months. I've met her 3 times, and each time she's made comments about not liking cats and finding them creepy, which I noted, but I didn't make a big deal out of because plenty of people aren't cat people. 2 weeks ago, my brother asked if they could come over for dinner. I said yes and made a point of telling him in advance that the cats would be out and that Ray should just ignore them if she was uncomfortable, and they'd eventually go to the other room on their own. During dinner, Miso came into the kitchen, which he does constantly because he's nosy and food motivated. Aren't most cats? Ray made a loud noise that startled him, not a clap exactly, more like a sharp hiss, and then laughed about it when he ran. I said pretty directly that I'd prefer she didn't do that in my house. As Fig when Fig wandered in, I asked my brother and Ray to leave. My brother has since texted me saying I overreacted and that she was just messing around and asking me to apologize to her. Okay, I have not and I don't intend to. My home, my cats, my rules. Am I the jerk? Am I freezing up out there? It looks like I'm having some internet issues right now. Can Am I freezing up at all, Des? Do you know? I know you can't see me, but can you hear me? Or if you're listening, right? My internet looks like it's going a little haywire, and I wanted to be sure that I'm still going fine on here. Because it can do. Yeah, it looks like I'm dipping in and out. Alrighty. Well, are we still having a problem here or what? Keep going. I'm going. Okay. So I got an answer for this one, I guess. Um, let's get something straight right now because it is What the Fork Wednesday, and I'm not in the mood for people playing power games with animals. You live alone, you pay the bills, you feed Miso, you feed Fig. That is their house. Ray is a guest. A 7-month girlfriend does not outrank a 5-year resident cat, period. Okay? I'm sorry. I am all about the animals, right? And let's talk about what she actually did because people love to minimize this stuff. She didn't just not like cats, she didn't quietly move away. She made a sharp hiss noise specifically to startle your cat and then laughed when he ran. That's not playful. Come on. Come on. She's being a bitch, you know? That is dominance behavior. That is, I'm uncomfortable, so I'm going to assert control over something smaller than me. Yeah, that's what it seems like to me. And, you clocked it. You told her once politely, don't do that in my home. And then she did it again 20 minutes later. That's not a misunderstanding. That's testing boundaries. That's seeing if you meant what she said, you know? She did. You did. So ask them to leave. Big deal. That is not overreacting, if you ask me. That is enforcing a rule and a boundary that you set in your own kitchen, and she just stomped all over it, right? I mean, come on. You're a guest. I don't care either how long she's been with this guy. You're a guest, right? Don't go over there making trouble. That's just ridiculous and childish. And quite frankly, I hope he changes his mind about her because that is very, very entitled and, well, quite frankly, a narcissistic move. So your brother, saying she was just messing around is cute until you realize messing around at someone else's expense, especially an animal that can't advocate for itself, right? It's not humor, okay? It's disrespect. And it's not about the cat. I mean, don't test your boundaries with your possible in-laws. Really? You know what? When I had to face my in-laws for the first time, I always pictured myself kind of like some of you may understand who I'm talking about. Eddie Haskell, you know? because I was not, probably not, I don't know. To me, I wasn't the kind of woman you take home to your mama, right? And of course, I went that way. Obviously, I've got 3 kids, and years later. But here's my point. Okay, okay. Why are cats creepy? Because people make them creepy, right? Because maybe she had something going on with her. I don't know, forever ago. Maybe, I don't know. Uh, I'm sorry, my internet is still acting up, isn't it? So, I hope I'm still running. Anyway, that tells you this wasn't a spontaneous reflex, right? She doesn't sound like them, or she doesn't like them. Fine. Okay. You don't have to like cats, but you do have to behave in someone else's home. You don't go into a dog owner's house and kick at their dog because you're just playing. You don't go into someone's home and mess with their kid because you don't like kids. Same energy. Your house is your sanctuary, right? It's your pets are family. And if you've got 2 dogs sitting right here next to me, okay, and I'm pretty sure Mama Lions always has 2 dogs sitting next to her door. And I know Big Jack's got pictures and videos of all his animals too. So it's like, hey, here we go. Everybody likes animals and they're part of the family. And if someone can't handle ignoring an animal for 2 hours, 3, 4 in your home without turning it into a weird little control experiment, no, they don't need a dinner invitations. My home, my cats, my rules is not a diva statement. You're not the entitled one here. It's basic adult boundaries. If Ray wants an apology, she can start with the one for hissing at your cat. Like she's in a low budget villain audition, you know? You are not the jerk here. You're not an a hole. You're not anything but a boundary setter who stands up for her own boundaries. That's what it seems like to me. You are the homeowner, right? And in this house, we do not bully Miso and Fig. Those are your babies. I wouldn't come in and mess with your kids. Those are your kids. We know this, right? All right, we got some comments on this one. First commenter. Oh, let me be the first commenter. That is childish, y'all. Why on earth would she hiss at a cat just to freak it out? Why is that fun? I mean, let me tell you something. If it were a cat that I used to know, that cat would have tore that lady up instead of running away. True. True story. Facts. And you know what? I wouldn't blame him. All right. Nah, I'd be done too. You warned her. She did it anyway, then laughed. That's not just playing, that's stressing out animals in someone else's house for fun. Second commenter says, right, if someone told me, hey, don't do that to my pet, I would immediately stop. It's such a small boundary to respect. Third commenter says, not just warned her, told her how to interact with the original poster's cats. That's my point. She said, if you ignore them, they will go away. But she wanted to scare them into leaving, which is cruel and not playing. Don't apologize to someone that comes into your home and is rude and disrespectful. And I would take back any keys your brother has. Pardon me. A little dry air in here. Ugh. Being involved with someone that abusive to cats means he no longer has access to my home. Agreed. Totally agreed. I know, right, Des? It's pretty childish. That's absolutely childish to do that to somebody else's animal in somebody else's home. That's ridiculous. Listen, the commenters are locked in because this is not complicated. Okay. You warned her. You explained exactly how to handle the cats. Ignore them and they'll go away. That's the easiest instruction on earth. And instead of respecting that tiny little boundary, she chose to scare them on purpose and then laugh about it and then do it again. That's not playful. That's intentional. That's pushing boundaries. That's poking the bear. Where I don't care how you want to say it. That's what it is. And it's wrong. I mean, wouldn't you react if you saw an adult standing in front of your child yelling, hissing? That's crazy to me. So when someone tells you, don't do that to my pet, the normal adult response, adult here being the operative word, is, oh, my bad, and you stop immediately. You don't double down 20 minutes later on stupidity like you're testing the perimeter fence. And the third commenter is right about one thing. This wasn't confusion. She wanted them gone and decided fear was her method. You know it's true. That's not quirky, that's cruel. And no, you don't apologize for enforcing a boundary in your own home. If anything, your brother needs to figure out why he's defending someone who can't respect a simple house rule. What the Fork Wednesday rule of the day: if you can't behave around someone's animal, don't get invited back. You don't. Period. End of statement. That's messed up, y'all. That is messed up. Come on. And I get it. There are people out there that don't much care about pets, but that don't mean you get to be abusive to somebody else's. Plain and simple. And if you do, well, you don't get invited back, right? Damn ridiculous. I said it. I'll say it again. Damn ridiculous. Grow up, little girl. Ugh. All right, here we go. Next one. This one's a little more what the fork. Gotcha. All right. Am I the a-hole for having sex with my sister-in-law on the wedding night? Oh, I was supposed to put relations there. Sorry, YouTube. I was best man for my brother's wedding. The maid of honor was his bride's sister. I am 24 male, while the sister, Katie, yes, I changed the name, was 20 female. We really hit it off right away. We study the same subject in school. She's witty and funny, and we got along really well. Day of the wedding, my brother and dad pull me aside and give me strict orders not to talk or initiate anything with Katie. I said that would be hard as we literally walk up the aisles together. He said that was fine, but other than that, no contact. He then turned to me and said, "This is my day. I can tell you like her by the way you guys stop being so selfish, bro, and be a good brother for once in your life." This shocked me as we had a good relationship, but I get he was stressed. Wedding was going on well, and I obeyed them for the first part of the day. She wanted to dance, but I said no. She looked hurt and confronted me when I was getting a drink. She said, "We were having so much fun before the day of the wedding. What changed?" Right? Yep. "I really like you and want to get to know you better. Do you feel the same way?" I said yes and apologized, and we danced. My dad forcibly tried to pull me off the dance floor, but I ignored him. I got a text from my brother during the party that I was not to talk to her. I replied, "Dude, what the fork? I get it's your day, but what's the deal?" We ended up making out after my brother left with his bride to the hotel. I mean, that's a little petty, but okay. We went back to the hotel holding hands and laughing, and we finally kissed. We had relations in my room, and I got her number, and we were going to have a real first date this week. I got a text from my brother late that day that his new wife told him what happened, and he was extremely angry and couldn't believe I was so selfish. Oh my gosh. For real. Why? What is the problem here? My dad threw a fit when he found out and said he won't pay for my wedding when it happened. I told him I don't care because I have a good job now. Oh, God. Sorry. I feel bad though. Did I ruin the day for my brother? Am I the a-hole? Nope. I'm just going to put it out there right now. You are not the a-hole. And what the fork, man? That's just ridiculous. That's childish. That is what the fork. All right, buckle up because this one is not about relations, okay? It's about territory and control and grown men acting like they're guarding a castle. A castle, seriously. First of all, okay, you are 24 years old. She is 20. Both adults. Legal adults, okay? By 2 years at least for her, 6 for you. No cheating. You're both single, right? No betrayal. No vows are being broken. The bride's sister is not property. Your brother does not own her. Your dad does not assign romantic airspace like he's FAA control tower for the reception, okay? The fact that they pulled you aside and gave you strict orders not to talk to her is already weird, okay? I mean, why? Oh my God, why? Just why? That's not normal protective energy. That's insecurity energy. It's one thing to say, hey man, don't cause drama today. It's another thing to say, don't interact with a consenting adult because I can tell you like her. Are we in high school? That's not about his wedding day. That's about him wanting control over the narrative, or rather, his wife wanting control over him, her new husband, and the whole narrative. Because that's what I'm betting on. And you did actually try to respect that, okay? Kudos for that. You turned down a dance. You created distance. She confronted you because she felt it. You were honest. After your brother left for the hotel, meaning his ceremony, reception, spotlight, cake cutting, all done, right? You and another adult chose to spend time together. Come on. That's not sabotaging a wedding. That is two people connecting. Now, could you have kept it lower key? Probably. Okay, let's not act like you two hooking up after the bride and groom left detonated the event, okay? If anything, the only reason it became drama is because someone reported it like it was breaking news, okay? Your brother's anger feels less about you ruined my day and more about I told you not to and you didn't obey. Yeah. I've got to put it there because that's exactly what I think it is. And that's the part that's really uncomfortable. You're not 12. You don't need permission to like someone. Your dad threatening not to pay for your future wedding. That's emotional leverage. Come on. And you calmly say, you've got your own job now, right? That's adult. That's the only real question here is, did you intentionally try to upstage him? From the story? No. No. You tried to behave. You waited until the formal part was over. You didn't propose, okay? You didn't make a speech about her. You just connected. Feeling a little guilty makes sense because it's family and tension always sucks. But did it ruin the day? Oh, hell no. Come on. If a wedding collapses emotionally because the best man and maid of honor had chemistry, then that day was standing on some shaky ground already. All right. Let me tell you something. My bridesmaid, this is why I grabbed this letter. Okay. My bridesmaid and the best man, one of the groomsmen, not the best man. Actually, they got married just a little while after I did. And she had been my best friend since I was 8 years old, right? And I mean, he had known his best man forever, but this guy, we'd known him for quite a few years because we all worked together, and everything was cool, and it was great and everything. And yeah, that was pretty crazy because it ended up, well, I don't get to see my friend anymore. There's for other reasons, and one of these days I'll get to see her and apologize for some of the things that, well, she thought I didn't do, but that's another story. All right, we got comments here. So, first commenter, not the a-hole, who you have relations with is not your brother's or your dad's business and doesn't affect them in any way. You're both consenting adults, so it's not a big deal at all. They're just overreacting. Amen. The original poster responded to this. Doesn't affect them in any way. To be fair, him dating Katie would affect the brother. It could put him and his wife in a difficult spot. Not saying that the original poster shouldn't do it, but that it could affect the brother. Okay, second comment. It could put him and his wife in a difficult spot. I don't understand how. Oh no, my sister likes your brother. Now, we have to X. What is X? Good question. The response, no, I'm talking about if they break up and the siblings have to take sides. Okay. I mean, that happens, right? If you're going to live your life questioning things like that, then you probably shouldn't be together. All right, this is where I think it gets practical instead of dramatic, probably. The first commenter is mostly right. Two consenting adults hooking up is not a moral crime, and it's not automatically family sabotage, right? But the original poster's pushback is fair too, right? It can affect the brother, not because it's wrong, but because family dynamics get messy when relationships go sideways, right? I mean, we know that. So if you and Katie date and it's great, everyone's happy. If you date and it explodes, then yes, siblings can feel pressure. I'll give you that. Holidays get awkward. People start whispering about taking sides. That's real risk. But here's the thing, that risk exists with literally any family adjacent relationship. That doesn't make it forbidden territory. It just means that you both better be mature enough to handle it if it ends. The second commenter, asking what is X is kind of proving the point. There isn't some automatic catastrophic moment. Okay. The only real danger is immaturity after a breakup. And I mean, there's already immaturity now because this is pretty immature. So the real question really isn't whether you're wrong to sleep with her. It's whether you and Katie are grown enough to date without dragging the whole family into a soap opera if it doesn't work out, right? Alrighty, here's an edit for you. I meant more in the sense that if things go south with Katie and the brother, Katie might confide in her sister, and then the sister might want to confide in her husband, not taking sides in the middle school friendship sense, more that it can be a difficult situation. We've already encountered this. Katie told her sister that she slept with the brother. And then the sister told her husband. The husband and the wife now disagree. Katie's sister thinks it's cute, and OP's brother is pissed off. Edit 2. I didn't realize that taking sides meant cutting people off. There's a point. Edit 3. I'm not saying Katie and the brother shouldn't date, just providing reasons why the family might be concerned. Okay, there you go. Okay, third commenter awarded the most what the fork commenter by my own standards. And yes, I changed the word. But the OP had a response that was perfect. Okay? Yeah. I put my dork in a watermelon once. The watermelon and I aren't talking anymore. And the original poster's response, only once? That's weird. Come on, I needed a little comedy relief, okay? I don't want y'all to get bored with me. I mean, there is a steady, at least 5 people in my room every day. I don't think they're on my channel. Pretty sure they're all coming in from Big Jack's channel, and that's okay by me. But please go at least subscribe to me. You know, that'd be great. I'm not asking you to be a member, throw me anything, you know. It's maybe Mardi Gras, but don't throw me something, mister. I don't care. Just support us. That's the point I'm trying to make. Look, this is where it actually gets real world messy instead of dramatic fantasy. The edit makes sense. It's not about middle school. I'm not speaking to you nonsense. It's about emotional spillover. If Katie vents to her sister and her sister vents to her husband, now your relationship becomes dinner table conversation, right? That's normal. That's what happens when families overlap. The problem isn't that it could be difficult. The problem is whether everyone involved can act like adults when it is. And, you know, you've already seen the split. Sisters think it's cute. Brother is furious. That tells you this isn't about morality. It's about ego. As for the taking sides, clarification. Okay. Yeah. Taking sides doesn't automatically mean cutting people off. It just means tension. And tension is survivable if people are mature. Now, the watermelon comment, no, I'm not leaving that one alone. That's just the internet doing what it does, derailing a serious thread with chaos. And your only once response, honestly, the right energy. Absolutely, 100% the best energy. And you can tell me your stories anytime if that's how you go. That was a perfect response. So if you're going to stay in this, stay light, right? Because at the end of the day, this isn't scandal. It's 2 adults dating with potential family awkwardness attached to it. That's it. Handle it grown. In the awkward phase, it passes. I promise you. All right, guess what? It's break time. Puppy dogs need to go. He's an old man. I have to take him out. Sorry, y'all. Be right back. Enjoy the song.
She came from the quiet storms, built a fire from the ground, turned a whisper to a warning. Now her voice shakes the town. Every setback was a lesson. Every doubt became a key, unlocking something bigger. That's the rise of Boss B. When the lights go low, her vision hits high. She built a whole damn network off a promise and a try. Every sunrise, every moment, she's stacking legacy. This ain't just a channel, this is BBTV. Boss B rising, BBTV's igniting. Turn the volume up, yeah, the whole world's invited. From the gravel road to the neon dream, she built an empire out of broken wings. Boss B rising, sky ain't even the ceiling. When she hits go live, everybody feels it. come back. The storm in the stream, crafting stories out of heartbeats, making visions out of dreams. Got thunder in the hustle, got a voice that cuts clean. Every mic she touches turns the power unseen. So let further spin the numbers, let the views rise slow or fast. Boss beat doesn't measure wins by echoes of the past. This moment is a pivot, this season's history. Bow down to the founder of the BBTV dynasty. Boss be rising, BBTV's igniting. Turn the volume up, yeah, the whole world's invited. From the gravel roads to the neon dream, she built an empire out of broken wings. Boss be rising, sky ain't even the ceiling. When she hits go live, everybody feels it. She's got fire in the head, it's got truth in the frame. Got a heart that won't retire and a gift you can't name. Every loop, every letter, every dream she sets free. It's a love note to the world sign. Boss beat. And the world keeps watching as the numbers climb, but she's counting all the moments, not the dollar signs. From the late night grind to the daylight scene, she's building something bigger than the algorithm's dream. Boss be rising, BBTV shining, her story's rewriting, a legacy in real time. Boss be rising, BBTV's igniting. Turn the volume up, yeah, the whole world's invited. From the gravel roads to the neon dream, she built an empire out of broken wings. Boss be rising, sky ain't even the ceiling. When she hits go live, everybody feels it. BBTV, where the stories breathe. BBTV, where the dreamers believe. Boss be rising, watch her take her place. This is BBTV, this is her grace.
Okay, we are back and we have another story. Actually, I have two more. Let's see here. Get my panels going again. All right, y'all. Pardon me. Am I the a-hole for making my sister cry when she was being cruel to me? Obligatory apology for any spelling or grammar mistakes. English is not my native language. I, 38 male, have a bit of strained relationship with my sister, who's 36. But what she did is so far out of left field that I'm honestly questioning where the hell it came from. And if my reaction went too far, I get a phone call from my sister out of the blue where she asked me, "Hey, how is your girlfriend doing?" "What are you talking about?" I asked back. "You know, I haven't dated since Sora passed away 9 years ago." I'm sorry, Stella. Stella wasn't just my girlfriend. We were engaged. Her life was claimed by a drunk driver whom survived the head-on collision they caused while Sorry, Stella didn't. Okay, I know. I'm sorry. I'm trying to process what's going on here. I try not to read the whole thing so that I can be just as surprised with you. I know. Just wanted to remind you was her happy response. Her tone, like she just told the best joke in history. Oh my God. I just want to jump right through the screen right this moment with this bitch. Yeah, I said the real word this time. This is my what the fork moment and calls up some pretty painful memories. Little surprised that I get angry, and anger does make stupid, causing me to fire off the first thing that pops into my head. Right, how is Brian doing? Brian was her treasured pet cat. There was a small pause before my sister replies, "He's been dead for 3 months. You know that." I know. I parrot back to her in that same happy tone she used. Just wanted to remind you. Wow. The line went dead silent for a moment. I heard a brief sound of distraught crying before the line got disconnected. Not even 10 minutes later, I start getting frantic texts from my mom, whom my sister still lives with, by the way, interrogating me about what I did, saying that my sister was just telling me a joke. I called my mother directly after receiving her text and explained the situation to her. It's no surprise to me that my side of the story differs greatly from my sister's. She kind of left out the whole joke she told me itself, trying to spin it as if I started it. Thankfully, my mother understood and left it at that. Still, I'm not sure where to stand on this whole situation. Am I the a hole for turning the situation around on my sister and giving her a taste of her own medicine? Or is it my sister for starting this whole thing and the rest is just karma? Oh, there's so much to unpack with this. We're going to pause just a second because listen, this one is not petty sibling nonsense. Ugh, I can't even talk. It's got me so upset. Okay, this is grief. This is trauma. And this is someone poking at a wound that never fully closes. Your sister didn't tease you about a bad haircut or an old crush. She called you out of nowhere and brought up the woman you were engaged to, the woman who died in a drunk driving accident. Unalived. Pardon me, you two. I'm still learning. And did it in a joking tone. Just wanted to remind you that is not humor. That is cruelty dressed up as a sarcasm. And when someone weaponizes your deepest loss for entertainment, you don't owe them a damn thing. Not a soft response at all. Now, was what you said calculated? Absolutely. You mirrored her. You took her treasure pet, right? Something she loved and reflected her own words back at her. That wasn't random. That was surgical. And here's the thing people don't like to admit sometimes. Mirroring someone's behavior is the only way they understand how sharp it is. You didn't invent new paint. You used the exact template she handed you. Same tone, same words, same intention. Just wanted to remind you the difference. When she heard it, she cried. And that's the moment she realized grief isn't funny when it's yours. Now, could you have hung up instead? Sure. Could you have said, "That's not okay," and walked away? Yes. But in the heat of someone reopening a 9-year-old scar, you reacted. And your reaction wasn't disproportionate, it was equivalent. Your mom calling it just a joke tells me your sister probably has a history of hiding barbs behind humor. But jokes require everyone to laugh. You weren't laughing. You were reliving the worst day of your life. So, no, You are not the villain for defending your grief. You didn't start the fire. You held up a mirror, and sometimes the reflection hurts, doesn't it? Listen, before we get into the comments, I'm going to tell you a little story, and it's recent, very recent, in fact. In 2020, I lost my mother, right? Here, it's in lots of my videos, things like that. Okay, it's in my bio, things like that. I'm an only child. I had step siblings and half siblings. My dad was married on his fourth marriage now, and very happy, and I'm very happy for him. And he has 6 children. My mother had 1. She had boyfriends. She never got remarried. Well, she did, but it was annulled, so it doesn't really count. But okay, they had kids too. So I had step siblings because they weren't really even step siblings. I love my siblings, all of them, every single one of them, and they're all family to me. Even when they do things like they're doing right now. Okay, one of my stepsisters, which hell of a lot closer to her than I've ever been with any of my siblings. I was missing my mom the other day, and I posted something on Facebook about it because Facebook is for my family, and of course she's on there. And while everybody else did the little emoji that had the emoji holding the heart, the care emoji, she puts up the laugh emoji. So I politely went over to her page and found something serious that she had talking about herself. And I did the same thing. Same energy. Nothing has been said since. This, yes, I'm bringing it up because you know what? Just by chance, if she's out there listening, I just want you to know, honey, that I love you. I've been where you're at. You know I have. And let me tell you something. I understand. But I can't help you. You got to help yourself first. When you do that, you call me. I love you and I miss you, sister. Now, to get back to this, real life happens. Real life happens. I had somebody come in the other day, and I'm pretty sure it was her, ask me, do you still do it? No, I do not. I most certainly do not. And it sounds to me like you should quit too. Listen, we all have our demons. I'm no angel. I will never, ever profess to be an angel. I have done some pretty screwed up things in my life. But you know what? I'm not the only one in this world that's done screwed up things in her life. But take a look at me right now. I am just fine and dandy. And my mother is still here with me. And she sees you. So, now that I got that out of the way, probably lost a few subs. I do not care because let me tell you, this is my life. This is my channel. This is my story. And we all got stories, right? All righty, back to the panels. First commenter. Not the a-hole. Your sister is awful. Amen. I'm a big fan of matching energy too. She FAs, she FOs. Carry on. The OP had a response, agreed, but it's funny how many people don't realize the energy they give off. They're genuinely baffled at the FO part because in their optic, they never FA'd. Yeah. Fork around and find out. You got it. So your second commenter, your sister is terribly cruel. If the joke about your deceased fiance is any example of the way she interacts with you, I think you'd be justified in cutting her off completely. Agreed. As for your rejoinder, I'm not quite sure what that means. Good for you. If that if it was okay for her to say what she said, then how can she possibly object to your in kind response? Uh, OP had a response. What is going on? Hello, hello. Look at my internet. What in heaven's name possessed your sister to make such a horrific attempt at not funny humor? Your response gave back less than you had tolerated. True. Very true. Honestly, I don't know what was going through her head, and I'm not in a hurry to find out, as I'm still kind of pissed about it. Well, I can understand why, okay? The commenters are, basically saying what most adults, grown ass adults, are thinking. This wasn't playful teasing, it was cruelty. And your response about people being shocked at the FO part is actually insightful. A lot of people genuinely don't see their own first punch because in their mind it was just a joke. They don't register the harm. So when energy comes back at the same volume, suddenly it's dramatic. That doesn't make you wrong. It means the mirror was uncomfortable. Now, the second commenter suggesting cutting her off, that's a heavier move. It depends on whether this is a one off moment, of unbelievably bad judgment or a pattern of her taking shots at you under the disguise of humor. If this is how she interacts with you regularly, distance might be healthy if it's rare. Then maybe this becomes a very firm boundary conversation instead. And the third commenter point, it stands. What possessed her to go there? That's the real question. You're still angry, which makes total sense, by the way. And honestly, you don't need to rush into understanding her. Okay. You can be pissed for a minute. Grief isn't a punchline. Okay. It's okay to be pissed. Be that. There's nothing wrong with that. And you earned it. And she earns, your reaction here. And I always say don't react, but I think that that's a perfect reaction. If you people don't like it when you pull a them on them, right? When you repeat their behavior. I can tell you, my sister, I have not heard back from her. And that's probably best. If she watches this, I might. I hope it's for good reason. The point is, you've got to set your boundaries with people like this. Period. I guess my internet's just not happy with me today, and I can't figure out why, but I will. Okay, so, uh, okay. Well, I see I've got something going on here. Uh, all right. So here's this last story. It's not that long, and hopefully I can get through this. Okay, so am I the a hole because I freaked out and wasted our facility's time? So I work in a lab with medical nitrogen tanks in the labs. These are by no means small tanks. One that blows up can easily go through a foot of concrete. I didn't realize that the tanks vented inside of the lab. Whoa, okay. Nobody told me. I didn't think to ask. I thought the gases vented outside. I went in to do lab duties, and one of the lines suddenly and loudly vented. I freaked out and panicked. I seriously thought a line had just busted and couldn't remember. I'm sorry, I don't even have my panel up, do I? Oh, okay. Let's see. I scrambled out of the lab and ran to facilities. I knew at least they would know what to do. I told them in a panic that the line was broken and nitrogen was leaking. We have oxygen meters in the labs to tell us if something is wrong. They jumped up and followed me. The gas stopped venting just as they get to the lab. I'm still freaking out. They tell me that the tank is just releasing pressure. It helps the tank not to explode during the summer. They told me I was fine, and it was better that I raised a false alarm than it being real and ignored. I still feel really bad hours later that I wasted their time and worried them for nothing. Our lab takes safety very seriously, and problems that are a threat to that are dealt with quickly. I really feel like I messed up. Okay, edit here. Thank you guys for screwing my head back on straight. I think I felt guilty because I was embarrassed. I checked in with work modules from home and reread my SOPs for gas tanks, as many of you suggested. Turns out I'm supposed to run away from tanks I think might be dangerous and only attempt to turn the valves off if I have been fully trained. I do not have that training. I will, however, be requesting it. Thanks again, guys. All right. So, deep breath because this one is not really AITA. This is OSHA. Okay. OSHA. Would like to thank you for not unaliving. You're in a lab, medical nitrogen tanks, tanks that can go through a foot of concrete if something catastrophically fails, right? A line suddenly vents loudly and you don't know that's normal. You panic. Good. Panic in that scenario is not weakness. Okay. It's survival wiring. You didn't ignore it. That's the good thing. You didn't stand there filming it for social media. You didn't shrug and go, probably fine. You got out and went straight to facilities, the exact people whose job it is to respond to gas issues. That's not wasting time. That's using the system correctly. The oxygen meters are there for safety. The venting system is there for pressure control. And the facilities team is there for exactly that kind of call. And what did they say? It's better to raise a false alarm than ignore a real one. That's not them being polite, honey. That's actual lab culture. Okay. In environments with compressed gases, chemicals, or pressure systems, complacency is the real danger. You feel embarrassed. It makes sense because adrenaline crashed and now your brain is replaying it like, I look dumb. You didn't. But embarrassment is not the same as wrongdoing. Okay. And your edit proves it. The SOP literally says if you suspect a tank is dangerous, get out unless you're trained. You followed protocol instinctively before you even reread it, right? That's not messing up. That's acting responsibly under stress. The only mistake would have been staying in there trying to be a hero without training, right? You didn't waste time. You practiced safety culture exactly the way it's supposed to be practiced. And it worked, right? All right, a few comments. First commenter, not the a-hole, live and learn. If it helps, they probably had a good laugh at your expense later on. And the original poster responds, knowing the guys, they probably did. Not that I mind. That's a good ending. Second commenter, not the a-hole, but you really shouldn't panic and forget that safety videos tell you to, or what videos tell you to. That is dangerous to your life and the life of people around you. You are unduly stressing about the wrong thing. They already told you it's okay. That false alarms are better than ignoring the real thing. What more do you want? You should be worried about your brain not working in a crisis situation. Asshole. Sorry, not sorry. Okay, third commenter, not the a-hole. I went sprinting for my boss the first time one of those events invented by me. Embarrassing, but something lots of people do. They're really scary. I've been terrified of them since the tech told me I wasn't allowed to be in the elevator with them because it could suffocate me or something. Wow, that's scary. The comments are actually pretty balanced here. The first one is right. Yeah, they probably laughed later. So did you. You just did. But that's lab culture, right? Not malicious. Just remember when you thought the tank was exploding. And your response, it shows you're fine with that. That's healthy. The second commenter saying you shouldn't panic isn't wrong either. In an ideal world, we all stay calm and recall every safety module perfectly, but adrenaline doesn't. It does what it does, okay? The key thing is you didn't freeze and you didn't do something reckless. You evacuated. You got help. That's a win. The third commenter basically confirms this is common. Those tanks are intimidating, especially when you've been told they can suffocate you in confined spaces. I mean, what the fork, right? The takeaway isn't my brain failed. It's I responded safely. Now I can improve my crisis recall. That's growth, not guilt. Seriously. I think you handled it perfectly, and that's the way you should handle it every time until you get that training that you said you're going to get, right? No problem. All right, breathe, because today was a ride, especially with this internet going wacky, and now I got to go find out what's going on with that. But here's what I want you walking away with today. Boundaries matter. Intent matters. Safety most definitely matters, and sometimes embarrassment feels bigger than the actual mistake. Not every freak out makes you a villain. Not every clapback makes you cruel. Not every awkward family moment is a disaster. The real question in every story is this: who crossed a line first? And how did the other person respond? Growth isn't about never reacting. It's about learning from the reaction. So if you saw yourself in any of these stories, the sibling, the panicker, the one who mirrored energy back, that's not a bad thing, okay? Awareness is where change starts. So drop your final verdicts below. If you're on replay, let me know which story had you yelling at your screen. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button for me, please, on either channel. This is BBTV channel, and I am also live on the Iron Sharpening Iron Universe every day, 3 p.m. Central. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and definitely consider becoming a member. I appreciate every one of you who show up and ready to think instead of just react. I see you in the next one, okay? And until then, hey, y'all, I've grown, and guess what? I will buzz you later.
I want to take a minute to shout out Tuber Chat. If you're a creator who's tired of surface level advice, and actually wants to understand how YouTube works, that's the space. It's real conversations with real creators who are in the trenches building channels, testing ideas. No posturing, no gatekeeping, no fake guru energy, just people sharing what's working, what isn't, and why.
If you're serious about growing, learning, and not doing this alone, check out Tuber Chat. The link is in the description. If you're enjoying this show, subscribing is the easiest way to support what's being built here on BBTV. You'll see the join button right next to subscribe. No pressure, no expectations, just an option for people who want to support the channel in a real way.
We're live every day at 3 p.m. Central now.
And don't worry, we didn't change the heat, just the clock. And if you've got a story you want to share, send it in. Anonymous is always fine.
Boss be rising.